So, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Edwin. Welcome to this empathy session that we're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, and I'm going to share this too with listeners, I'm Mireille van Bremen. I'm a Dutch national and I live in Slovenia. What I do is that I give empathy sessions and I do empathic coachings. I also do communication trainings, compassionate communication trainings, and visualization training. And more about me can be found on empathicpathway.com. And I would like to ask you to give a short introduction about yourself.
Okay, great. I'm Edwin Rutsch. I'm director of the Center for Building a Culture of Empathy, and that's at cultureofempathy.com. And been working a lot with empathy, and I'm really excited to be here and to get an empathy session from you because I really value it and get a lot from it.
Great. So the purpose of our call, as we said already, is that we'll do an empathy session for you to receive it, but also we're recording it so people have a sense of what's going on in an empathy session. So it's also a demonstration. And yeah, I would like to invite you to start sharing when you're ready about what's up for you.
Okay, so
I'm here to listen.
Okay, great. Yeah, the topic I wanted to address is this sort of a writer's block that I have. I've been struggling. You know, I can write, but it's not like a joy in my writing. It feels like work. It feels painful. It feels kind of agonizing. So I really wanted to talk about that, and I'm hoping to kind of share, kind of just express and kind of explore that experience and that pain that I have around the writing.
Yeah. I'm hearing that for some time you're dealing with a writer's block. You're wanting to write, and there is nothing coming in the way that you would like, and so this is frustrating, and it's causing pain in you about not getting out what you would like to say that you're holding. And you want to share in this call about this topic.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I do a lot of writing. I've written 3 books, and they were computer-related books. And it was so painful to write them that it's kind of like giving me some sort of I always struggled with writing in general, but having done those books, those computer-related books, and I think it was just the pain of of writing those that even made me more kind of tense about writing. So when I write, sometimes I can get into a flow of writing, and I kind of enjoy it, but that's only about 5% of the time. And otherwise, it just feels like work, and I feel impatient, and I'll write something and I'll start judging it, and it's just a really painful kind of a mess that I just can't seem to get through.
Yeah, so the 3 books that you've already written were on computer-related topics, and it was a kind of a struggle for you to write them, because in your experience it's only about like 5% that you really enjoy. You really experience a flow in what's coming.
Yeah.
And for all the rest, it's work, and it's causing you more pain than joy to write.
Yeah.
This is not a memory that is like encouraging you right now.
And another thing that's coming up is I had a friend, his name was Harold, and he was like a really good writer, and he would just be writing all the time. And then this was quite a few years ago. He wanted to give me, I said, "Oh, can you give me some writing lessons?" Because he had majored in English. He was like really good at journal writing. And then we actually had some, sessions with him to do writing. And I still remember, it was like the organizational part, kind of taking material and organizing it. I just could not kind of do it somehow. And he just kind of said, "Oh, it's just hopeless." So I just that memory of him saying, "You're kind of like hopeless in terms of your writing." So that's just a kind of a memory that's coming up. And
yeah. So in this time that you work together with a friend who is doing more writing, he had a structure that he was showing you for you to use as well, and this wasn't working. It was more of a mess for you to work with that.
yeah, it's like when I can write and I start writing, but then I always start kind of going back and judging it. And also I have this desire to write in a very kind of clear, structured way so it's easy for people to understand. But when I get into it, I start writing and then I kind of go back and I'm starting to evaluate and judge what I'm writing. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just creating all this kind of stress inside of me. So um, I'm just kind of like, it's like an emotional mess around writing. It's like painful. I feel stuck. I mean, I don't know. And I keep kind of coming up, it's like a wall. I keep coming up against this wall. I really want to work through somehow.
Yeah, because then when you do write, then you have pieces that are written already, like even if it's within that structure.
Yeah.
But then when you share this with people, you have judgments coming up, and you start to correct, you start to change things, and it's it's
It feels like
becoming
a
very
tangled mess. It
and
feels like an
yeah,
emotional tangled mess,
emo-
and I don't share it with people. It's while I'm still writing
oh,
it.
with your okay in
Yeah,
this way. Okay, I misunderstood that. So it's when you're still writing that you're judging it and you keep changing it, and then when it changes, it doesn't even give that satisfaction, or and
yeah,
also the flow doesn't even come like it's getting better. It's just adding up to the pain and the frustration that you
yeah.
already have.
So there's not a flow to it, where it's just kind of coming with ease. I mean, sometimes, very rarely, it does, uh, but most of the time, it's like just this whew, kind of pain, about, oh, I got to write. It's like a struggle. So I'm just kind of dealing with this pain around it.
Yeah, it feels really heavy for you to be in that kind of state of doing the writing, but it's more of a doing in that matter than that it just comes with ease and
Yeah, that's
flow.
it. I'm needing this ease and flow to it, and kind of an enjoyment to it, and this unfolding. And, that's kind of what I'm desiring, is just, and to enjoy the process. But
Mm-hmm.
instead, I feel my body kind of constricting, and I gotta get the words out,
Yeah,
Then I start judging it and thinking about it, and kind of get all kind of wrapped up in those feelings, and it's like it's painful.
yeah. So because you can actually feel your body get really tensed about it, and it's cramping, and then it's like it's really holding back
Yeah,
the words that you would like to just come out, see out,
yeah,
coming out with flow, and
exactly. Yeah,
like this what is holding in you, bringing that out with a lot more of the flow, and without this tension in your body, is what you would like to see happen.
and I'm looking at that. I feel kind of like sad, a little tearful about the pain that's involved in that, because it's like I can feel there's some kind of a fear underneath it. It's kind of like an anxiety and fear and a constriction, and it's just kind of holding that is just like I actually feel a little bit tearful about the pain that's involved. I just want to enjoy the process. I want to have fun. I want it to be a kind of a liberating experience, is kind of what I'm wanting, but it's not that. It's this struggle, and it's like, am I kind of doing this right? Is it this external judgment about it, this constriction, and it just feels like this kind of knotted, painful, mess.
Yeah, so in this mess that you're experiencing, besides all the tension, you're also holding the sadness in you of why it doesn't just come, and to to just relax into the writing and experience the joy of writing. And instead of sensing that, you experience all this stress and tension in your body, and then as it doesn't change, it's saddening you really,
Yeah.
to not be able to give like freely from your heart. And then this block really shows up, as in this is how it's happening, and then the judgments become stronger in your head.
Yeah, and it's like I feel this kind of grief because I sense the potential for joy, but I've got the reality of the pain and suffering of kind of dealing and wrestling with it. And like I kind of like feel grief about the lost joy, the possibility of the joy of it. So it's kind of like this loss of potential joy is just really hard.
Yeah. So it's really valuable to you to also really enjoy what you're doing, because there is this sense of potential inside of the joy that could possibly be there. And so seeing that this is not there brings you, besides all your frustration and tension, it also really brings up a lot of sadness and grieving about not reaching this joy in you.
The potential that's there, it's like this loss of that. I know it could be, and it's not. And it's just painful. You know, it's like there's something about, I mean, something like a sort of a strategy of how to address that is, if it's like now in talking with you, I mean, it just feels very good to be able to share and express that. And it's to be able to share those pains, like somehow the pain is like the stress of having to do, you know, having to work, having to do, you know, having to kind of produce, and that kind of anxiety about that stress of having to make, you know, this work. And somehow I need to be able to share the stress itself in the writing, I think, so that that it's not separate. There's not this joy, you know, part, and then there's the stress part, but to be able to, you know, share and somehow reveal the pain and struggle that's there, and to be able to incorporate that into the writing. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of what's coming to me.
Yeah, I'm hearing in that you would like to somehow hold both of them.
Yeah.
Not to judge, you know, either of them, but to say, yes, I'm stressful, I'm tensed, and I have this grief, and I have this longing for joy and ease, flow. And, you know, it's painful that this is happening, but this is present. This is now, and it's my truth right now.
Right.
So really connecting yourself with what is alive with you about that, and experiencing that pain and this longing for the joy. It's like you're wanting to hold both with care inside you.
Yeah, it's somehow I want the writing to be to incorporate. I just see that if I can bring in the writing about the pain, somehow be able to express that. So I think somehow I'm not expressing something. You know, it's like, and I don't know how to really do it. Somehow it's like I'm kind of doing it here with you, right? So this is good practice because I'm kind of able to express the painful part and be heard about it. So that's, I find, very supportive. And I would like my writing to be, you know, incorporate that fullness of my experience. So I'm not just writing, you know, all fun and joy, but within the writing to be able to incorporate and express and honestly express the, you know, the pain that's the existing felt experience in the moment that I'm having.
Yeah, it's like you would like to bring in your authenticity
In the writing,
Yeah,
right.
in the writing, because yes, you would like to experience that joy, and but if it's not there, that is something you would like to open yourself up to as a possibility to write about, and as
Yeah.
something to share, rather than to judge it and say, this may not be present.
Uh-huh.
I have to write from joy and flow.
And
And
from that authenticity too. It's like the authenticity of what my struggle is and my judgment. I don't know how to do that. Like, how do I write and say, well, I'm sitting here judging myself. I'm kind of being critical of what I'm saying to you, but it's kind of there. So
yeah, so you would like to acknowledge yourself for what is alive in you, and be
yeah,
able to share uh, about your inner experience. And it sounds like I sense a little bit of hope in this, that this might be a
yeah,
way for you to open up to not like going over this block or around, but to go through it, saying, this is present, and I will not deny it. I will acknowledge this, and I
yeah,
will go through that experience. And maybe a way of doing that is by writing about
yeah. Or even doing more of these empathy sessions.
it. Or more empathy sessions, yes.
I feel like I'm kind of able to start, because even now as I think of going and doing the writing, I can feel that the anxiety coming up again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like being able to express this has been really helpful, and I feel a sort of a softening, in my body, and I'm even going and having some, tearful feelings about this. But even as I think now about doing some writing, it's like I'm imagining writing, and I'm already feeling like a constriction kind of coming up.
Yeah.
Just even thinking about going and doing it. So, so that's,
Yeah, so it's already the experience of just thinking about the writing itself is tightening you.
yeah.
It's really bringing some tension around your heart
And
area,
anxiety, I can
and
feel
the
it's like it's,
anxiety is coming, and then you get tearful about experiencing this in your body. And this is, I'm guessing, this is quite strongly emotional. You actually even said it earlier on, that it becomes a sort of a whirlpool of emotions. And when this is happening, it's like you can't allow yourself to just write and just go with it.
yeah, it's not so much a whirlpool as a knot. It feels like
And not.
knotted, like, how
Mm,
things are all kind of knotted. It feels like the knot needs to be unraveled,
okay,
and I
yeah.
feel a little bit, and I also, you didn't quite get the part of being heard about it, is bringing some softness into that
Mm,
knot. So I'm finding
yeah,
that it's creating some kind of space around it, but it's still there.
yeah,
There's something I need, kind of more steps to unravel that knot.
yeah, yeah. I'm hearing that it's quite a strong sensation in your body, because already just the thought of writing, not the actual doing, is bringing you in contact with this knot that you're sensing, with all these emotions that are entangled with each other. And that by speaking about it, it becomes a little softer.
Yeah, just even hearing
Yeah,
that reflected back and seeing you kind of do this was kind of like opening a little bit of space around it.
yeah, yeah. It's there is a little slight relief around seeing and sensing that the sensations become a little softer, and more uh,
There's more
um,
softness around the knot. I can feel the knot, and at the core, it feels like
mm,
real anxiety around that, at the core of
mm-hmm,
that knot. And I'm feeling a sort of more of a softness by sharing it and actually seeing, especially when you did this, you kind of like modeled it. It was like good to see
mm-hmm.
it out there instead of kind of just inside of me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's getting a little softer when you share about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you imagined also that when you would write about that might also help you
Mm-hmm.
softening it.
Yeah, I think what I'm needing is more time to address it. To like, I'm thinking like, okay, we're talking now, and I go and we'll start doing some writing. Like after we talk, and immediately I start feeling the anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
kind of come up,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's somehow I think I just need to give it more attention, have more empathy around that
Yeah.
unraveling that knot. We're doing like 20, 30 minutes here as a sample, but I think I need like a lot more to
Mm-hmm.
start unraveling that that knot. But I do feel sort of a space, like a warm space has been created. And I did feel deeply into that quality of the loss, the grief
Mm-hmm.
of kind of what can be, and what I'm kind of like striving for, and needing there, or wanting, kind of the feelings of joy and creativity that I'm wanting. So I'm I'm getting more space around it, but I think I need a lot more to
More, yeah.
do it. Kind of
Yeah.
go into it.
So that's like your
I'm kind of strategizing here. I think about
yes.
strategies of what can I do to address this.
Yeah. Yeah, because in that addressing you can sort of see like an acknowledgement for what is really present for you, what's
Yeah,
coming up as soon as you start to think about the writing. It's coming up, and you would like to release this, and you would like to be freed up from this knot,
yeah,
this energy that is keeping you from enjoying the writing. And so you're hopeful that by sharing more about it, that this knot will soften more, and that by having the empathy for what's going on for you, that um, that it kind of will, relax, calm
hmm
down in your body. That
and I
yeah.
feel like I need to move that knot. I need to move into that there's like a slice of anxiety, like under that knot, like a fear and anxiety that I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
needing to give more care, more love, more empathy into that. To
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, to really honor actually that what is there is part of you, and it's okay
mm-hmm,
for it to be there. It's
mm-hmm.
totally okay. It's just painful for you, and this is why it's helpful for you to receive the empathy. So it it's much easier then to carry that pain, and maybe it will even dissolve with
Yeah,
with with getting to the heart of that knot, with love and acceptance for it, that it's present, that it doesn't have to go anywhere.
yeah. I just
uh,
noticed something as I'm sharing it. It's kind of created more that core, anxiety is kind of like spreading. It's opening. It's not so there's not this constriction around it. It's like it's still anxiety, but it's like an anxiety that's like becoming larger and more spacious
mm-hmm.
somehow. So, and the other thing that's coming to me uh, is after this session to do some writing, and then to notice the like what is happening to me, and then do another session about
Mm-hmm.
that experience. I think would
Mm-hmm.
be really supportive for me.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm hearing right now that you have an idea of what you could do next, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can give this after hour session even a little bit more space, and even open yourself to actually do some writing,
Mm-hmm.
and just let it happen for what comes, without that judging, just to let it happen. And then you imagine that doing another session
Yeah.
after that, and and related also to this writing that you will be doing now,
Yeah.
would help you to create even more space in yourself, and feel that anxiety from this really strong center sort of dissolve more and become softer and more gentle.
Yeah.
And less painful.
Or at least see where it goes, because I'm noticing it's now going up into my throat. It's kind of like spreading out, and I'm just feeling a bit of a knot in my throat, that same feeling. So it's just to explore it, to do a writing session, to explore what happens, and then come back and get some more empathy around it. And I think that I'm sensing some real movement and support around that.
Yeah, it's literally that movement. The anxiety is movement. And as you have this session now, then we'll do some writing. Then you want to do a follow-up session.
Yeah.
It also means that you're moving with your anxiety along. So you're sort of dancing with it in, where does it want to go, and what does it want to tell me, and how can I, let it be there and follow it for it to have its space on its own. But I can be gentle with that too. To
give it empathy instead of giving it control, and to give it more empathy, to allow it to say what it has to say. Yeah. And so I see a pathway to addressing it. So I feel pretty heard around that. And so for closing, I think this might be a good place to close. So I want to thank you for that. So unless there's something you were going to say.
Well, you're very welcome to respond to this. And also, I would like to ask you, like right now in this moment, how do you feel right now?
Right now, I feel the anxiety still. I feel it. It was, instead of being a total ball, it's through this part here. It's kind of going down into this arm, and it's moved up, kind of in my throat area. So it's kind of expanded and kind of opened up, and kind of around, I feel like more hope, more of a sense of direction, sort of a pathway. So I'm feeling like, sort of some steps in a pathway that I can take to start addressing this. And I'm also feeling a huge amount of gratitude to be able to speak about this, because it's been so, it's been such a kind of a struggle, something I've been struggling with. And you're like the first person I've talked to about this kind of specifically. So I have a lot of gratitude for your presence and empathy.
Yeah, I feel moved hearing this. And I'm grateful for your trust to open up about this topic that you haven't shared yet about with others. And I also feel moved with the richness in your expression of how this lives in you, and how from anxiety into being very vulnerable, and it's moving you to tears of what it's doing with you. And and then seeing you coming from this painful and sad place to seeing some hope, and also feeling more space inside yourself, is for me it's a gift to observe and hear what this is.
And don't forget the gratitude too for you. So.
Sorry, I didn't get you very well.
Don't forget the gratitude that I have for what you're offering.
Yeah, but this is it's for me. I enjoy doing this. It's very precious for me. These are precious moments to share with people and to really connect strongly what's alive. And this is seeing that it makes a difference in you.
A huge difference.
Yeah, that's what for me is really important to give. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Support you.